Right, you join me in the new Toyota Supra. So this car then, this has been slated in the press for being just a BMW Z4. It's a BM engine, 3 litre straight six. It's turbocharged, 335 horsepower, BM chassis from the Z4 as well. But I can tell you from the driver's seat, you don't give a damn that this is a BMW. Honestly, this thing is absolutely rapid. I mean, cars these days, the limits are just so sky high. And the power figures, I mean, this is a mid-level sports car and it's doing under 4 seconds to 60. And it really feels it from here, especially on the road, because you've got all that torque from the turbocharger. I think it's 370 pounds-foot, which is just absolutely insane. And obviously through the 8-speed ZF. Right, I'm going to give you a bit of a squirt. Oh my. It is so quick. Obviously that is a very BMW sound, that familiar straight six howl, and it's probably coming through the speakers. But you look at this car, you look at the mirrors, you look at the haunches and the presence on the road, and I don't know, it does feel very BMW in the way it drives, I have to say. Even the damping feels quite BMW in the way that there's a little bit more vertical movement than you'd like. And the steering, there's not a whole bunch of feel, but it's very quick and very, very accurate. And in a car as quick as this on the road, that's what you really need. You need accuracy to be able to place it. I've just jumped in this and I'm already confident placing it on the road, just because of that steering, that accuracy in the chassis. And it's just flowing really nicely. We're on some quite bumpy A roads here, and it's just got a really nice level of body control, but it's not too loose. It's definitely a road car in feel, because it's quite soft, it's rounding off bumps, it's flowing with the road, there's wheel travel. But it's not all over the place when you start loading it up in a corner. In fact, I think the steering's a little bit too quick for the body control, because like I said, there is that roll, and because the steering's so fast off center, it can sort of excite the car a little bit too much when you introduce it into a corner. But I mean, overall, the overriding experience is this is an extremely capable mid-level sports car. I mean, I drove an F-Type a couple of weeks ago, a V6S, and this feels miles quicker than that thing. And it's got less horsepower on paper, 50 less horsepower than that car. And that's because it's only 1,500 kilos, and on the road at least, it doesn't even feel that. It doesn't feel 1,500 kilos at all. To me, right now, it feels about 1,300 kilos, and that's probably because of the fast steering that gives it so much agility below the limit. And because of this crazy torque that just takes you down the road. I mean, listen to this. That is stunning. It's not got a hard edge, really exciting exhaust note though, that's the thing. And like I said, it is very BMW in the feel of its motor. It's not a super special M division motor. It's got the torque, but it doesn't really zing, and it's not super sharp at the top end. And I am missing that a little bit on the road. But as a road car, it feels much more Grand Tourer than hard-edged sports car. And that's where that torque comes in. You can just cruise, and the ride is really nice. So as a GT car, yeah, this works really well. But should a Supra be more GT biased? I really don't think so. It's very tail happy. He'll do that all day long. He'll just light up the rears because of all that torque as well. And you don't care that it's a BMW underneath. You don't really care about the interior here, because a lot of this is BMW as well. The iDrive, all the switch gear, a lot of the controls are all BMW, and it doesn't really feel that special inside. And for a 50k car, it's a little bit disappointing. But in terms of chassis, in terms of the effectiveness of the motor, it is really, really impressive. It's such a lot of fun, this thing, I have to say. And usually I'm a big critic of modern cars with such sky-high limits, because you just don't get the enjoyment on the road. But this thing, I mean, it's moving around all over the place at low speed. Yeah, as you can probably tell, it's not really giving me the absolute excitement at the top end. It sounds good, but again, it's that familiar BMW straight six noise. It's not all that appealing, but like I said, so effective. And the brakes feel really strong, even though it's 1,500 kilos. I haven't tried it on the track yet, which we will be doing, which is going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, we'll see how the brakes hold up then. But overall, as a road car, which I think this is positioned as quite strongly, I think this works really well on UK roads. There's just a little bit too much BMW in it, and I know that's an obvious criticism, but you do feel it if you've been in a BMW before. I don't know whether customers will care, but that's the overriding impression from me. But it is a lovely road car. And I think it's time we see what it's like if we take it on circuit and really rack this thing, because that's what it's made for, isn't it? It's a yobmobile. Right, and now we're on the circuit. We're going around Thruxton in the Supra, and what can I tell you? Well, that fast steering rack on the road that sort of unsettled it with the huge amount of wheel travel this thing has, gives this serious agility. As you can see, it just wants to slide. And it works really well on the circuit, I have to say. God, it's not that exciting though, I'm just missing that hard-edged engine sound. It's got torque, it's got performance, and there you see it just flicks in really nicely, settles on its springs, and we've got plenty of grip from these Michelin Pilot Super Sports. Grip is just in reserve. But you can overwhelm it if you just chuck it in, which is what we might do in a second. It's a little bit naughty, we've been told to leave the systems on, but you know me, I'm a bit of a hooligan, so gonna get that cool sideways shot for you guys. But yeah, see, you can see I'm talking to you in a normal voice because I'm just not feeling the speed. Obviously it's extremely capable, but I'm just not feeling exhilarated by this thing. It's very agile, it's really well damped, and it's really nice riding over the curbs here. And it has a lovely balance, really nice agility by that fast steering rack. But like I said, it's really not hard-edged enough. I know they're bringing out a hot version, but this, as a Supra, I don't know, does it need a hot version? But yeah, like you saw there, it is very adjustable, it is tail happy. You've just got to use a bit of force because it's got so much mechanical grip, this thing. You've got to use a bit of force to unrest the rear tyres, and round she comes. Not a lot of feedback from the rear axle. It feels a little bit soft, but...
Right, and that bit of yobbery concludes our test of the new Supra. I really enjoyed the car, it really does a lot of things right, but for me, it still feels a little bit too BMW, and that engine lacks a bit of sharpness at the top end, so I'd probably still have an Alpine A110. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to help us out, and I'll see you in the next one.